This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Thursday. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
That was very enthusiastic. I like it.
Well, feeling pretty good, man.
That was a little Good Morning Vietnam-esque, the way you did that.
I thought it was more Your Highness.
Oh, that's true. I didn't get an email from Your Highness, Bodie, did you?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yep.
Did I see it? Let me see here. Oh, there you go. Now I got it. All right. Talked to him today. We'll also talk to Albert Breer today. Lots to talk about. Tito, Bobby, it's a Brody Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Got a big show lined up for you today. We will, as I said, Albert Breer around 7 a.m., Ya Highness around 7:35. We'll hear from Larry Johnson, defensive line coach for your Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll do that. Some NFL talk as well. And we'll start last night in the NBA. Sixers over the Magic, 109-97 in the play-in game for the East, the 7 versus 8 game. Sixers now in. Brody, if I'm reading it correct, that means they play the Celtics, correct?
That would be correct, yep.
I like that matchup.
Agreed.
There we go.
Especially without Embiid still appendicitis.
Whatever.
I don't know if I said that right, but...
Do we all have our appendix here? There's your poll question. Bobby, do you have your appendix still?
I do.
Brody? Yeah.
Yep.
So do I. I think I do. I don't remember ever taking it out. Who knows? Look,
as far as you know.
Hey, look, there's been a couple of Sanchez nights in my past. There's a chance I don't have my appendix. I'm not sure. I've got a scar. Warriors beat the Clippers last night, 126-121. That eliminates the Clippers. And that gives OKC another shot at a lottery pick there because they own the Clippers pick. And so more power to the OKC Thunder. Warriors advance now to play in the next game. They will play against Portland. No, Phoenix, right? Phoenix, is that the correct one?
Correct, yeah tomorrow night.
Phoenix, yep. Reds beat the Giants 8-3. They'll play at 12:40 today in Great American Ballpark. Defend GABP, as Bobby likes to say. That'll be the getaway game for the Giants. Cards over the Guards 5-3. The Guards host the Orioles tonight at 6:10. So I think that's about everything going on in sports.
How are we feeling with the Reds and Guards right now? I mean, I have no idea what their records are. I really don't care till July 1, but...
Yeah, they're both over 500.
That's good. It's better than the alternative.
Reds are playing pretty well.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. 11-7.
11-7, tied for first in the Central right now.
Yep. Guards, I think, are only a game over 500.
Guards are 10-9. They're a game behind the Twins in the AL Central. But, yeah, Reds pitching is doing well. Their hitting has not been great, but they've had their moments. Last night, Sal Stewart had a couple home runs and 6 runs batted in for them. He
had 2 3-run home runs in the first 2 innings.
Right, yeah.
Which is that's not a bad night.
When Baker and I went down there with Tyler to the Reds, their like Reds Fest thing. And we
just
had
you 3?
It was just a 3. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, it was. But look, you can say what you want, Brody. The roads were not great that day. I mean, it was almost. There was a chance that it might have precipitation, which means there's a lack of participation. But anyway, we had a chance to talk to Sal Stewart a little bit, and he looked like a kid. A big kid, but a kid. But he was great, though, and I'm rooting for that guy. I hope he does well. Had some injury problems, but now he's off to a great start this year so far. He's hitting, I think now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to take a look now. Now I'm whiskers on this one. He's hitting 323 right now, and he has got, 7 home runs and 17 runs batted in. His OPS, Bob, which I know whenever I talk baseball, you always say, what's his OPS? I'm like, yeah, it's a great question, Bob.
It's more, what's his WAR?
Well, his WAR so far is for this season it's 1.2, but his OPS is a stellar 1.16. This concludes our baseball talk for this Thursday on Morning Juice. See what Terrell Pryor said, Bob? Have you seen what he did?
Yeah, I watched. I see all that stuff, though. It
Okay.
comes to me like the ring came to Frodo.
It feels like one of those book references that I haven't read. But Terrell Pryor, though, came out and talked about how he said he's going between Ohio State and Oregon. And he said, but Oregon was talking some crazy. He said something that wasn't stuff, and it's something we can't really say here. He said, Phil Knight and them had the Nike shoe deal, offering my coach at the time. They were talking to him under wraps. Not RAPS like I would say, but WRAPS, saying we got his shoes and everything designed for him. He can wear Nike for the rest of his life, all that stuff. But Ohio State was cool because Jim Tressel was thorough. So, but Pryor, though, essentially said that he got offered all this stuff by Oregon when you couldn't get offered all the stuff by Oregon, and still chose Ohio State. But he said that, though. He said that, ironic that he ended up getting busted for the gold pants thing and tattoo gate and all of that. But, the fact that Oregon did that, Bob, did any of that surprise you?
Not really. I mean, listen to him talk about it, and I mean, I'm not saying that he's lying with any of it, just the degree of things of how they truly went down when you talk about it 15 years later. Like, I don't know. Just trying to figure all that out. I was listening to it. I know that there were some accusations. Charlie Batch clapped back on some of it. So, yeah.
The fact that Charlie Batch clapped back on anything. Charlie Batch went to Eastern Michigan. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie Batch can keep his claps.
But he was paying. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I'm just saying, like, no, if you're
played in the NFL for like 13, 14 years.
That,
I don't
Bob.
care where he went to college.
Well, if you're Eastern Michigan quarterback talking about something somebody else said about what they did in college is the
he
part.
He said I didn't say that. No,
right.
Because he was accused. Terrell said Charlie had said something with that because he was in Pittsburgh at the time.
Right.
Like they had a relationship, and he was playing for the Steelers. Who gives a crap where he went to college? He's playing in the NFL.
Because, Bob, you lose credibility with me if you're talking about something somebody else said about what happened in college, and then you went to
He's talking about something that Terrell said that he said.
Right. No, I'm just saying, though, like Charlie Batch, though, like that's like a nightclub comedian saying something about Robin Williams.
You're telling me in this scenario that Terrell Pryor's Robin Williams on this?
When it comes to college football players.
Buddy, not even close. You're way off base on this. Charlie Batch played in the NFL for over a decade. Oh, my bad. Your list of accomplishments of playing in the NFL is so extreme that that's not impressive.
But I'm not clapping back at Charlie Batch or Terrell Pryor.
How long? What Terrell Pryor do in the NFL?
Didn't he have the record for the longest run by a quarterback ever?
Okay, congratulations.
I'm just saying, I don't think Charlie Batch has any records in the NFL.
He played he probably played 3 times longer than Terrell did.
He probably did.
I think didn't he have that 1,000-yard season with the Browns?
He did as a receiver.
Some people would say that's
very impressive.
That's Hall of Fame.
The best news,
the
best thing was instead of taking like a 4-year, $42 million deal.
Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah,
he chose to say let's let it ride.
He bet on himself,
and then how'd it go?
Whoops.
Do you think if Terrell Pryor is a quarterback in today's college game, his career ends up being different?
No,
you don't think
so? I think it's probably worse. To tell you the truth, yeah, because if he's allowed to transfer and get paid and go everywhere else. That guy had no guardrails on his life then. You put him out there now, it'd be like looking at a demolition derby.
I guess I was thinking, Bob, about
the game and how it's played.
About what
I'm thinking about
used.
responsibility. His talent was never the issue. It's the 6 inches between his ears. There
was a one of the other shows, On the Money, I think it was.
On the Money Shot. They had
the debate was better quarterback.
Oh, geez. This is Scott and Bids?
Bids.
I mean, we can just leave it at that. Let's get to today in history.
All right, Bob.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Professor General, do your thing.
Just for the record, moving forward, just because someone was never a star in college or in the NFL, but if they found a way to play over a decade, I'm never going to let you besmirch their accomplishments.
I don't think I was besmirching him.
You compared him to a nightclub comedian to Robin Williams, with Terrell Pryor being Robin Williams. You want to talk about like that with Tom Brady, or talk about that with Drew Brees or Peyton Manning,
right?
Or hell, Lamar Jackson. Pick your guy. That's fine. But I'm not going to let you do that in this scenario.
I did not have you vehemently defending Charlie Batch on today's show.
It's not defending Charlie Batch. It's defending his tenure in the NFL.
Okay.
I don't think you realize how hard it is to do that.
Bob, I'm sure it is.
Then why don't you just openly admit that?
I just admitted it. It's hard to be in the NFL. It's hard to be in the NFL for double-digit years. No
doubt about it. Hard to be in the
it.
NFL for 5.
Sure.
You play for 10 plus. Anybody that has played will acknowledge that. You want to sit there and say that he went to Eastern Michigan. I don't care where he went to school. You think Khalil Mack, they say, well, he went to Buffalo, so he's not very good.
Max Crosby?
Exactly. I mean, there are dudes that went to smaller. I don't care where you started. It's where you finish.
Mm.
This date, April Thursday, April 16th, 106th day of the year, 259th day in 2026. This day, 1818, the U.S.-Canadian border is established with the U.S. Senate ratifying the Rush-Bagot Treaty. This day, 1910, the oldest existing indoor hockey arena opens for the first time. Still in existence, still in use. You know where it was, Bodie?
Lake Placid.
Fairgrounds.
Beantown up in Boston.
Oh, all right.
This date, 1917, big day for Shark. Vladimir Lenin returns to Russia from exile in Switzerland. So listen, he's got his little Soviet calendar over there.
I understand.
It's like what the heck is the little Christmas boards, the Advent calendars. Where you open it up, eat the chocolates. Yeah, he has that, and they've got the different little days in there.
Long though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh look, honey, it's Lenin.
He's excited about that one. This date, 1929, the New York Yankees become the first Major League Baseball team to wear numbers on their jerseys.
Made things easier. Yeah, I did know that. Yeah, made things easier for the scorekeepers, and that's why.
How would you keep score before if you didn't know who the guy?
That's a lot of guessing, a lot of misinformation. Yes, but yeah, and you remember, but that's why Bob, all those guys had like the lower numbers. It was almost like Ruth was 3 because that's where he batted in the lineup. Garrett was 4. And so it wasn't, no one had to buy any numbers from anybody. That's the number you got. And that's why those great Yankee teams, so many numbers are retired now from then because you had guys that wore the low numbers to start off.
There we go. You heard it here first.
Charlie Batch was number 8. I'm just kidding, Bob. Go ahead.
Charlie Batch. Not to be confused with Charlie Murphy.
How many games do you think Charlie Batch started in the NFL?
Oh, I bet. I'll put the over-under at 25.
Wow. I thought he would go higher than that. He played.
It might be 50, but
he played 12 years.
Yeah.
He started 55 times.
There you go.
He went 25 and 30 as a starter. Played 81 games total.
Okay. I was going to say 50, 25. I wanted to make sure that I was well under the number. I picked 25.
It's clever by you, Bob. That right there is that is why you would be great on Price is Right.
Setting up expectations.
Yes.
This date, 1943, Albert Hoffman discovers the hallucinogen effects of LSD. Takes some intentionally on the 19th. Really wanted to get after it. Enjoyed life. 1947, the term Cold War is first used by Bernard Baruch. 1966, When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge is released.
Percy Sledge.
Percy, sorry.
When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He changed the world for the good thing he's found.
I love the fact when I gave that to Bodie, he goes, by Michael Bolton? I go, I don't think that was his originally.
Not the same one, yes. Not the, yeah.
Yeah.
Percy's version better.
Michael Bolton's is pretty good, but Percy's is better. I will acknowledge that.
Michael Bolton is the Charlie Batch of music, but go ahead.
I don't agree with that statement either. This date, 1971, Brown Sugar is released by the Rolling Stones.
I think that might have been about a non-Caucasian person.
Possibly.
That's my guess.
This date, 1977, Don't Give Up on Us by David Soul hits number 1.
Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong seem right.
Bob, I think David Soul. I'm going to look this up real quick.
Said he had soul.
Okay. He, I believe, was in Starsky and Hutch, the TV show.
Why not? Sounds
yes, he
great.
was. I'm not sure. He was a blonde-haired one. He wasn't the other guy. David Soul, yes.
So you got soul, David.
He was the white blonde-haired guy.
Opposed to a black blonde-haired guy? Is it Cisco?
It'd be
like, who are we talking about here?
Cisco with a Q, traditional spelling. Yes, David Soul.
A white blonde-haired guy. He was the Asian blonde-haired guy.
Okay, I don't see colors.
It's good. Like Asian
I don't
Jim.
see race.
Good
Right?
for you.
Good for you.
Oh, goodness. Born on this date, 1867. Wilbur Wright one of the famed right.
Whoa, here we go, Bob.
Well, you take the R out; they're getting close. One of the famous Wright brothers was born. This date 1929. I used to have pictures of him all over the Detroit Lions facility. Dick Night Train Lane.
He once said, Jerry, there's never been a good tackle ever in the history of the league below the eyebrows.
I perfected my own way of tackling people. Just when they been over to bowl me over, I would rip them and stop them right in their track.
Dick Lane played receiver in junior college. He was as fast as a locomotive and got his nickname from the 1952 Buddy Morrow hit, Night Train. In his rookie year, Lane intercepted 14 passes in just a 12-game season. It remains the NFL single-season interception record.
Yeah, there you go.
Never been a good tackle below the eyebrow.
He might not have made it in today's game.
He would have made it for a couple of weeks. Then I think he
But
may
he
have.
went to a junior college, so
Right.
he probably wasn't that good.
Yeah.
There's no Charlie Batch.
No Charlie Batch. No Terrell Pryor.
Long-haired Charlie
He would have hit
Batch.
Terrell Pryor one time, and Terrell Pryor would have quit football.
He wouldn't have caught Terrell Pryor. Terrell
Are
Pryor
you
was-
kidding? Terrell Pryor was incredibly fast. I'm going to be honest with you. Dick Knight, did you watch the highlights of him when you were pulling that up? Dude, he
a
was
little bit,
he
but
was a
there wasn't
monster.
a ton of highlights, actually. It was kind of
This guy's
guys talking. Yeah.
Oh, dude, he had 68 career interceptions. It's a monster, man.
The fact he had
Unbelievable.
14 and 12 games is amazing.
That's more. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They threw the ball like 10
Yeah.
times a game back
That's
then.
a career
Yeah.
back. Yeah. That's a career now. 14
And
interceptions.
he wasn't one of those guys that just was all about the coverage. No hit below the eyebrows. Form tackling. Passed away, unfortunately, in 2002. The Night Train.
He was great on Madden.
Oh, yeah.
He was. They would bring him back in the Ultimate Team game mode, which
Really?
is like all sorts of players in the
all-stars,
history of the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And if you broke a run, or I guess a screen or whatever, to the outside, and somebody on the other team had Night Train Lane, I can promise you that player, about a 50% chance that ball is going to be on the ground.
And that ambulance comes out on the field and takes that player away.
Basically. That's awesome. Love it. Turning 79 today. One of the last great big men left from UCLA, a 6-time champ, a 6-time NBA MVP, a 10-time All-Star, second all-time in career scoring,
Yes. Yep.
Behind LeBron.
now. Yeah.
Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wait a minute. I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm sorry, son, but you must have me confused with someone else. My name is Roger Murdoch. I'm the co-pilot.
You are Kareem.
This from
I've
Airplane?
seen you play. My dad's got season tickets. I think you're the greatest, but my dad says you don't work hard enough on defense. And he says that lots of times you don't even run down court. And that you don't really try, except during the playoffs.
The hell I don't. Listen, kid. I've been hearing that crap ever since I was at UCLA. I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
That is amazing. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff there out of Airplane. Turning 61 today, the man they call Martin Lawrence.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Mr.
Bad
Burnett.
Boys.
I'm Reggie.
What you
I've
doing
seen this
here?
clip a lot of
Came to
times.
take out Megan.
What?
I came to take out Megan.
I think he's 30.
How old are you?
I'm 15, Mr. Burnett.
Motherfucker, you look 30. Show me some ID.
I don't have none on me.
You don't have no idea. Get your ass up against that wall. Your problem, you
Thundercats.
think you know it all. You know, young Thundercats. You got joints on you?
No.
You smoke that shit?
No, sir.
You trying to get my daughter high? You smoke that shit?
Nigga, who that is,
It's
dog?
Reggie.
Who the fuck is Reggie?
Came to take Megan out. What
Did
you
he
want?
fight?
I'm here to take his daughter out.
What's your name?
Reggie,
Well, no, I heard the motherfucker say your name, Reggie. You taking Megan out? How old is you?
15.
Shit, nigga, you at least 30.
That's from the second one, right?
Yeah.
That's so good.
How many have they had?
They had 3.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the third.
I think neither have I. I've seen the first 2. I think they're doing a 4th one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Why not?
But sure.
So, yeah, and the one, so
The
Reggie
first
ends
one's
up.
great.
I
second
think the
one-
first 2 are pretty
The
good.
second one's pretty good, too.
Is the third one, which one is it where, like, there's the home invasion? Is that the second one or
The
third
second one's where they go to end up in Cuba, and they're driving
Yeah.
a Humvee down, like, through Little Havana. I mean, maybe a little unrealistic. Couple Miami cops just gonna. All right, all they're getting. We're not gonna come down on you for this. Went to a foreign country, snuck in there.
Other than that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Federal government might have something to say about that. Her birthday was a couple weeks ago. Singer Selena, her passing was a couple weeks ago. Selena, born on this date, 1971. The king of convict music. Bodie got excited. I'm curious which little nugget you grabbed from him. Mr. Akon turning 53.
Impossibly bend you over. Look back and watch me smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more.
I think they're referring to smacking someone's rear end there, Bob. If I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I think that's what smack that means.
Oh. And possibly bend you over?
I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to translate that for you.
You're Slim Shady.
You're a Glankster. I'm from Brookhaven. I'm just letting you know. I think that's what the translation was.
All right.
You're welcome.
That sounds pretty good. Turning 44 today. Former Miami Hurricane, longtime Saint, played with the Jets, drafted to the Jets. Part of the Bounty Gate as well. Mr. Jonathan Vilma.
Run a little reverse action and get something out of it. Oh, the ball comes out. It's Vilma again with another fierce tackle.
Those are two of the most incredible tackles you'll see in football.
Ben Zychek is the man injured on the play.
When you hit a golf ball perfectly, it's a little click. When you make a tackle like that perfectly, it feels like a click. You barely feel it.
For you, maybe. How about the fellow fielding it?
Guarantee you he feels it.
There we go. Turning 33 today, Mr. Chance the Rapper.
Luckily, Laszlo
So
Holmes, who
good.
usually covers the
Laszlo
Knicks for
Holmes.
us here at MSG,
Did you
is
like
filling
this?
in for Paul
Oh, yeah,
while
I've
he's
seen
out.
him before.
He's down there ringside now. How you doing down there, Laz?
In a word, cold. It's very cold all around here.
Laz, what's your impression of the game so far?
Well, Dale, the story of the game is one of the main guys on the Rangers don't know how to say his name. It has like 30 letters in it. None of them are vowels. He's playing great, which is crazy because he got in a full fist fight in the first minute of the game. But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey. I miss the Knicks. I'm just kidding. Laszlo Holmes, very cold, ringside, Rangers versus Oilers.
Now, Laz, I want to talk about this Ranger offense.
You should do that.
I meant with you, Laz. Now, they came out of the box with an aggressive offense we haven't seen from them in a while.
That's what's up.
So good. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It was so great. Like it was really good stuff. And then passing away on this date, 2013, one of the great all-time commentators, play-by-play guys you will ever find. His simplicity was his beauty. Battled some alcoholism in his life, but great guy. Fortunate to get to know him prior to his passing when he was living in Dallas, Mr. Pat Summerall.
Three-man rush, and Young stumbles on the way back and fires up the middle. Pass is caught by Owens. Owens made the catch.
Oh, gee.
Emmitt Smith needs 10 yards now to break Walter Payton's all-time record. Jerry Jones, the owner, Michael Irvin, the teammate. 2nd and 7. Emmitt again. Almost broke it. Almost broke it for a touchdown. Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
There we go. All-time leading rusher.
A few years back, Bob, on Fan Sports Sunday, we had, on Father's Day, you came on, talked about your dad. We also had Kyle Summerall come on and talk about his dad. We did a thing. Kyle came on and talked about Pat, and then also we had Veda Pinson come on and talk about his dad as well, the former Reds outfielder. But Kyle's, he loves talking about his dad, and you're right, there's a lot of things his dad did is like now it's one of those things where if you ever want to hear your dad's voice, you go back and watch all these clips because Summerall was so damn good. He and Madden together. Before that, he worked with Tom Brookshire.
Him and Madden, like they were the perfect contrast because Madden was such a big personality, and Summerall was just so dry and deliberate, and the brevity was really his key. Like you listen to him, like Aikman to Urban, touchdown. Like and it's just his timing, his cadence.
The cadence, yes.
It was so good. It was so good. Really enjoyed. Really always loved listening to him, and just an awesome guy. We'd go have Bible studies together on Thursday night. We were in Dallas, and just getting to know him and his wife was tremendous. Like I said, battled alcoholism a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he was ever drunk on air. You could never tell. I mean, he drank a lot though, and he was openly admitted. I think he did. He was drinking like while he was commentating. Like, man, that's pretty good. I mean, Harry Carey sounded one way. You sounded always in control and always ready to go.
There's a famous story where Summerall would go and the morning, like a Sunday morning, he'd go and knock on Brookshire's hotel room door, and Brookshire opens it up, and there were 3 women of very different ethnic persuasions.
There you go.
That were in the room getting ready to walk out.
Like Neapolitan ice cream.
He mentioned something about how he went around the world last night.
Summerall did?
No, Brookshire did.
Oh, okay.
Summerall knocked on the door and saw these, and Brookshire said, "Oh yeah, I went around the world last night."
There you go. Oh goodness, some holidays observances today. It is National Dare Day. How about that? The third Thursday in April. You know what's amazing? They said Dare didn't work, and then we stopped doing it. Then we had this massive drug epidemic in our youth, and
maybe it did.
Maybe it did work a little better than we thought. Just the fact that not everybody was on drugs for a while, so brought that back. National Eggs Benedict Day, National Librarian Day, National Orchid Day. How about that? Love some orchids. National Stress Awareness Day, which is the first work day after income taxes are due. Hopefully everybody filed theirs or at least got an extension. And World Semicolon Day. And those, your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Thursday, March 16th, the 106th day of the year. 259 days remaining in this 2026.
Do you think, Bob? Well done, Professor General. Do you think I filed?
Like
do you think
that, Professor General. It's like the Surgeon General.
Right, Bob. I'm telling you got promoted. Do you think I filed? Do you think I filed an extension? What do you think I did?
I mean, I don't know your tax the complexity of your tax situation. I'm guessing it's not overly complicated. So usually people want to file so they can get their tax return. So I'm guessing you filed.
But you forgot one birthday, by the way. An important one.
Whose is that?
George the Animal Steele. His birthday also is today.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who George the Animal Steele is, the wrestler?
No.
Do you ever heard of George the Animal Steele? Oh, my goodness. He was a very hairy wrestler. Bald on top, but hairy everywhere else.
Good.
And
hair usually only grows where you don't want it. It's like grass. I can't get grass to grow in parts of my yard, but it likes to grow in my flower beds.
And he was in a famous dispute with Randy Macho Man Savage. He was smitten with Miss Elizabeth. You remember Miss Elizabeth?
R.I.P.
Yeah, I know, right? Drugs. Accidental, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, but yeah,
it was accidental that she was taking them. She didn't fall into the drugs.
That's fair. She accidentally forgot how many to take.
She actually accidentally forgot that she loved it too much.
She didn't love cocaine. She loved the way it smelled. Coming up next when Larry Johnson talks, we listen. We'll hear from Larry Johnson next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to hit the road with something new from Germain Toyota. Right now, get into a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with just 2.99% financing for up to 72 months. Power, performance, and capability ready for every spring adventure. Or cruise into the season with a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for only $299 a month for 36 months and $39.99 due at signing. Fresh deals, fresh rides. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at V.org.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. I spent years on the mound giving everything I had, and now I feel every inning in my knees, back, and shoulders. But I didn't want surgery, and I sure didn't want to be sidelined. That's why I turned to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Christie and his team use regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No surgery, no meds, and no downtime.
Whether you're teeing off at the club or chasing the grandkids around, QC Kinetics helps you get back to doing what you love.
Call QC Kinetics now and schedule your free consultation. Natural joint pain relief with real results.
Don't let the pain slow you down. I didn't, and neither should you. My friends at QC Kinetics, they'll take care of you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Okay. The center can change.
It can. The center of something can change.
Right.
But the buildings that are downtown, those aren't moving. So that's still considered.
Agree.
There was a mall that was downtown.
City.
It was called City Center. Yes.
Right. Okay.
They didn't tear it down and then move it like 10 miles in another direction.
Okay. Zanesville used to be the capital.
Yeah. You know why?
Yeah.
Why'd they move it?
Because Johnny Zanes was a bad guy.
How about Billy Zane?
Either one. I don't know why they moved. Why they moved from
because they wanted something that was more centrally located for the state. So Columbus is kind of in the center of the state.
Bob, we are not a married couple. Breaking news on that one. But I feel like there's a lot of times we have discussions, and I really think we're both right. I know you don't think we are.
I'll let you believe that you're right. I'm going to give you all the evidence. Right. Here's the thing I've always said.
Okay.
When presented with enough evidence, intelligent evidence to change my opinion will change. Okay. I was hoping that you would embrace that philosophy. If you're able to present enough evidence for your case to ever change it, I'll change my opinion on things.
Okay, this was just so people know, peek behind the curtain. The discussion we're having was, I said that I thought, okay, Randy Poffo, Macho Man Savage, went to, I said Columbus North High School, which I believe is true. I believe that part's accurate. And that's where the COSI currently is. And Bob said, no, that was Central High School. And it was Central High School because it was the center.
Yep.
Which I get. And then I said, well, the circle can change to where center is not always center. Center can move.
I said that's accurate as well.
Well, and that's all I was saying, Bob, was it could have been Columbus North back then, but when the circle changes around it, just like and I'll ask this question now.
Back when? Like back in 1805?
Here's my question to you. And this is a fantastic question, I think, Bob. Is Centerville in the center of the state?
You know why it's called Centerville?
If it's not because center of the state, then we might fight.
Okay.
Why is it called Centerville?
It's like Middletown. You know why it's called Middletown?
I think it used to be called Old Town Road, but they had to change it for copyright reasons with Lil Nas X.
It's called Middletown because it's kind of in the middle between Cincinnati and Dayton.
Okay. That center's changed too? As
No,
far
Cincinnati and Dayton are still in the same place.
Okay, but Middletown. Okay, but is Centerville in the center of the state?
Sure?
It is not. There are a lot of Centervilles around that aren't in the center of anything.
In Ohio, though, we've only got one, right? As far as I know, there's only one Centerville.
One that you probably know of. There might be another.
I think there's only one Middletown, too. Right?
I don't know. I'm not going to speak to something I'm not positive on.
You ought to live a little, Bob, because that right there is fun to do when you speak about something you're not positive of. Larry Johnson. He is the defensive line guru. We've talked about this personally, Bob, well, professionally, but also with Austin yesterday. Here he's Larry Johnson talking about Bo Atkinson and how he has changed.
I think he's done a 360 so far. We haven't played a game yet, but I think I like where he's at. He's much better. He's more flexible right now than we like him to be. And it's a transition guy coming from the University of North Carolina and trying to play this way. How do we do it? It's different. It really is. And I think he embraced it. Never had a dull moment. Never fought away from it. Not ever shot away from what we're doing. Now is this moment, this time. And so he's having a good spring right now.
Now this is our time.
Okay, one thing I have a problem with, though, Bob, that he said there. If he did a 360, he'd be right back where he started, right?
What did he say about?
He's done a 360.
Oh, but
yeah, he probably meant 180.
Yeah,
I think he meant 180. I mean, a 540 is okay too, but a 360 is not where you want to be.
That's true. But what did you learn on that rotation? That was what matters.
You're right, Bob. But if you do a 360, I mean, 360 degrees,
you're back to where you started.
You're back where you started for the way I thought too. Yes.
Ready to proceed with a greater level of knowledge.
Here is Johnson talking about how deep they are on the D line, and I don't know if he did a 360 on this too. We'll hear what Larry Johnson said.
Typically, we like to play 5 guys, be ready to go 5 guys inside. I like to have 6 ends if you can as a bonus player who can do something else. But yeah, I think that's the key going in. Try to find those 5 players plus a 6th player if you can.
The D line, Bob, level of concern for you with the people they've got to replace.
Not crazy high. I mean, obviously losing K-Mac's tough.
Yeah.
Bedrick Houston, I think, has played pretty well. James Smith has played really well, the transfer from Alabama. Oh gosh, is it Walker? What's the guy from Central Florida?
Yeah, John
Walker, not Paul.
Paul Walker, his games. Well, yeah, he's also having tea with the Queen.
And then Will Smith, like those guys are looking good. They've got some good young guys that they've worked through there, but you feel pretty good about the top 3-ish to 4. Like you need to feel like you've got a good 4 guys, though. I know Larry wants 5 and 6. Like, you know what? My daughter wants a rainbow pony, like a rainbow unicorn. You know, why stop there? Like, that would love to have more depth. This is not the era that we're living in anymore.
There's certain people that have earned enough street cred with me to where I don't worry about. Like, I think Johnson gets the right guys in. I think he coaches them up the right way, and so even if they lose 13 guys, I still think the next
13.
I know, but I'm saying if they lost a bunch of guys, it would be I know, but I still think though that he will find a way. You know what I mean? Like they'll find a way to still fix those. I don't know, issues is the right
productive.
word. Yeah. Yes, be productive. There we go. Saturday's a spring game. The Fan has you covered. Join us Saturday morning at 10 for the Pelotonia. By the way, did you read this whole copy thing that's sent to us here?
Nope. Printed it. Handed it to you.
It says the Pelotonia, then it's got the phonetic spelling of it. It says Pelotonia, but anyway, we all know how to pronounce Pelotonia.
How you said is
the right.
How I've always heard it. Yeah.
It looks like Pelotonia. Anyway, join us Saturday morning at 10 for the Pelotonia Fan Tailgate Show live from FanFest. Anthony Rothman, Tim May, and Dave Biddle get you ready for kickoff. It's the Pelotonia Spring Game Fan Tailgate Show. Join the community passionate about ending cancer at pelotonia.org. Spelled out dot too, which is impressive. And presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Coming up next, Quick Hitters Morning Juice.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
Oh boy, Morning Juice. Telling you, Bob, we're missing out on a big revenue stream right there. If we started paying people, or starting getting paid by people, paying people would be a stupid revenue stream. If we started getting paid for having our off-air conversations out there as a podcast, I think we could do really well.
Always said it's called The Breaks, and that would be a great show. The problem is, like, it would be like listening to Eddie Murphy Raw.
It'd be like listening to Charlie Murphy off the air and some of the stuff he might have done. But the breaks, by the way, also, do you know who rapped the breaks?
I don't know what that means.
There was a rap, one of the early raps, called The Breaks. These are the breaks. Curtis Blow. There you go. Quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Thursday. Start a little college football here. If you have been worried at all about whether or not Ohio State has gotten better this spring, I have some great news for you. ESPN released their updated way too early top 25 rankings, and the Buckeyes made one of the biggest leaps in their top 25 after slotting in at number 6 in their post-championship game hierarchy. ESPN now has Ohio State as the preseason number 1 team in the country. The Buckeyes are followed by Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas in the top 5. Indiana, Miami, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M round out the top 10. And I got some more Ohio State opponents, 14 through 20 here. Well, 3 opponents and then 1 Big Ten team. Michigan's number 14. Penn State is number 15. The Buckeyes don't play Penn State this year, but nevertheless. And then Iowa is number 19, and Southern California is number 20. Tito, safe to say at this time of year, you could probably put anybody in the top 5 or 6, kind of mix them in a bag and pull out. And whoever would be number 1, you can make an argument for. But, hey, never hurts to be number 1 right now on April 16th.
You're right. And these lists, and this is stuff that we'll talk about, I'm sure, until we get to football season starting. But yes, the Ohio State schedule And as I looked at it, one of the things, like if you look at when all these different preseason things, all these different offseason things that come out, they've talked a lot about Ohio State's schedule. And Ohio State's schedule this year, Bob, toughest in, I was trying to look how far back it would have been. They've had a schedule this daunting.
It's been probably 25 years.
You think it's
at
been
least by preseason ranking standards? Because the Big Ten hasn't been that great. Number one, they have a top 5 non-conference game.
Yeah.
They're playing the defending national champion, another team that was in the playoffs.
Alleged defending
Michigan team that was, 9-3 last year, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's going to be better this season. And who else? Oh,
they got
USC.
Yes.
Who USC being ranked 20th.
They're hanging a banner for their recruiting. Yeah.
They've got a top class. And then Iowa, is Iowa in the top 25?
Yep, number 20.
And
there you go.
It's in
Iowa.
It's
at Iowa.
Yeah.
It's at Iowa,
19
at
Iowa.
Indiana, at USC, you have
Illinois.
Michigan, Oregon, and at home you have to go to Texas. This is tough. And Illinois wasn't bad last year.
Yeah. They were disappointing from what we
beat
thought they could be, but they still won 8 or 9 games.
It cost me money against Indiana. I really thought it'd be a closer game, and they killed them. Bob, who's got a tougher schedule, Ohio State or Michigan?
Ohio State, I think.
Okay, Michigan plays. The Western Michigan game no longer in Germany. That's fine. But anyway, they host Oklahoma. They host Iowa. They have to play. They host Penn State, host Indiana. They play at Oregon, at Ohio State. That's not easy either.
I would say that is on par if you're going to go straight up because they don't have USC in there. Now they have Penn State, so it's
right.
Who do you think would be tougher there? But I would say that's close. I think Texas is better than Oklahoma.
I think going to Texas in particular is tougher than Oklahoma.
Last year they won
home.
to Oklahoma, so I think it's probably slightly tougher, but those are probably, if you look at any type of scheduling, if those teams end up being what we thought they are right now,
right,
those will be 2 of the top 5 toughest schedules in college football, without a doubt.
Have you ever, at the high school or college level, been the opponent in a homecoming game?
I'm sure in high school we saw.
You think?
At least when we first got there.
Suck.
We're 2-8. That sucks.
Yeah.
We didn't win an OCC game. We beat Dayton Meadowdale and Dayton Patterson. One of them was on a last-second field
Score
goal.
the blind.
We weren't very good. Some of the games we were close in. Others we were not. I'm sure we've been homecoming games before.
Michigan's homecoming opponent this year is Penn State. Now, it's October 17th.
Indiana was always our homecoming game.
Okay. You've got the other home games around there. Indiana, October 20th. That's not going to be a homecoming game. You've got Iowa, September 26th, home games. They play at Minnesota on October 3rd. They're off the 10th. So maybe Penn State's the only option they had as far as being a homecoming game.
I don't know what else you'd put it. That's a problem. You get those tough schedules in there.
That's disrespectful, Bob. I'm just saying. If you
call your shot,
I understand. Michigan's going to lose their homecoming game this year. They're going to lose to Penn State. All right, what do you got next, Bob?
Next up here, guys, how about this? Dane Brugler of The Athletic, Mel Kiper Jr. of ESPN, and Todd McShay of The Ringer all released their latest 2026 NFL mock drafts yesterday on Wednesday. And how about this? Every single one of them had the Browns making a pretty significant draft day trade, or I guess it could have happened ahead of time, but nevertheless, all 3 guys had the Browns and Dallas Cowboys swapping their top selections, with the Cowboys moving up to number 6 and then Cleveland falling back to number 12. Excuse me. Along with that, Kiper and McShay had the Browns selecting offensive tackle Caden Proctor from Alabama. Brugler also had him going offensive tackle. He had them taking Spencer Fano, though, from Utah. Bobby, seems like where there's smoke, there's fire. Should Browns fans be prepared on this one to move out of that 6th selection of 3 different guys who are probably as plugged in as these guys are?
I think they're here, and I think the Giants would like to move back at 5, and I think the Browns would like to move back at 6. The question is, are you still going to get the player that you want? I think Dallas would probably like to move back and probably try to get Sonny Styles. I think the Giants would like to move back, try to get Caleb Downs. I don't know if you're moving back to 12 if you're getting those guys, though. And that's the thing. And, you look at the Browns, they need a receiver. If you don't think Cardinal Tate is it, then you move off of that. But he's the best receiver in this draft. And there is some better depth pieces and plays down below, but he's the one that's the most complete guy. I don't know for certain that they're going to move. but I think that someone will be trying to move. It's the question is, does somebody want to come up and give you requisite compensation to be able to do so?
The fact the Cowboys have 12 and 20, they've got the capital to move up if they want to. If I'm the Browns, I think I'd rather have 12 and 20 than 6. You know, and maybe you have to give a third-round pick in the deal as well. But
there's a
It'd
little
probably
bit
be
of,
their second rounder, I think.
I don't think you're giving a first rounder to go up. Not in this draft. I don't think people perceive that to be the value. And that's the question. If you're sitting at 6, then you might not want to move back if all you're getting is another second rounder. I don't know.
No. I'm sorry. I'm saying it'd be 12 and 20 for the Browns' 6th and 39th picks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you would
swap.
do.
Okay.
If you're the Browns, I would think you do 6 and 39 for 12 and 20. I would think you would. I don't know, but
if they're pretty set on tackle, because I don't think any of these tackles are perceived to be Joe Thomas type, but you move down 6 spots and then you move up 19 from 39 to 20, and then you take Proctor, Fano from Utah.
Yeah.
I like Maui and Miami.
I like Fano from Utah. I think he might be the best.
It's funny, you go back and look at the history, like the pre-Jimmy Johnson history, or around that time. Like, Jimmy Johnson was famous for the draft chart and the points that they assigned each pick it was. But like, if you look at some of the trades that were made before, like when and this, I know this was after Jimmy Johnson, but the Bengals, when they got Kajana Carter, they got him from the Panthers. It was the Panthers had the number 1 pick.
I didn't realize they traded for that.
Yeah, Panthers had 1, Bengals were at 5. And the Bengals traded 5 and like a second or third round pick, it would have been, to go up to 1. And now it seems like they have a lot more to move from 5 to 1, especially
it
in this
depends
draft.
who the player is. Like, that's another thing. Like, how strong the draft is depending on how much that's going to cost. It's a little bit of a sliding scale.
But yeah, they had to trade up they traded up like the night before the draft when they made the trade. It was like last minute when they made the trade to get Kajana. Obviously didn't work out for them. The Panthers didn't work out for them, I guess. At 5, they had their eyes on a quarterback that they got.
Kerry Collins?
They got Kerry Collins.
That worked out for him.
They
took him to an NFC Championship game.
His second year, they went to the NFC Championship game. Ended up going.
Celebrated so hard he became an alcoholic.
Well, he and Sanchez hung out together. But and then Collins went, was it the Giants? He went to the Super Bowl with
the
them,
Giants
right?
in 2000.
Yeah, so he went to the Super Bowl with the Giants as well. But that was the year that I think 3 Penn State guys went in the top 10 because Kajana went 1.
What year was
Collins, 1995?
I think it was 95 draft.
And then Kyle Brady, I believe, went to the Jets.
Jaguars.
I thought Brady was Jets. Jags had the number 2 pick that year and took Baselli.
95 Bengals, Carter at number 1.
Right.
Kerry Collins, number 5 to the Panthers.
Where did Brady go? 12?
And Brady went 9th to the Jets.
9th to the Jets, yeah. Because the Bengals passed on Baselli to take Kajana Carter.
You're correct in that, yeah. Jacksonville took him, number 2 overall.
Right. And then who was 3 that year?
Steve McNair.
He did play for Jacksonville, though.
Later I did, yeah. But I think
I was going to say, because I remembered him with Jacksonville. He didn't re-sign with the Jets. He was with Jacksonville the majority of his career, and then his last year was in New England.
Is this what we do a lot next week, think, Bob?
What?
Draft reminiscing, talking about things like
reminiscing, we can. We'll go through that.
This feels like with the draft next week.
Or we can talk about what's going on in the current draft.
I think I like doing the past stuff, Bob.
Of course you do.
Are you leaving Saturday to go to the draft, or are you leaving Friday night?
Probably Saturday.
What time's your coverage start?
Noon.
Okay.
We got beers to drink here.
All right. Just don't vacate wins. What else you got for us?
I don't even know what that means.
Bob, look, Bob, anytime you make any decisions in life, I worry about vacating wins. And you make great decisions. I'm not trying to question your decision making. I'm just saying, whenever Bobby says there's drinks to have, I'm doing this, I've got this party I'm going to, I'm hanging out with my amigo, all those things, the first thing I think of is 0-2 was special. I don't want to vacate wins. That's all.
All right. With that being said, next up, try not to squint your eyes too much at this one. The college football playoff has massively, I use it sarcastically, changed their logo ahead of the 2026-27 season. Title game will be in Vegas, as you can see if you're watching us on YouTube. Tito, got some pretty heavy Pam Beasley. Corporate wants you to find the difference.
I can't.
There's no difference in the 2 pictures.
There's really not.
We got new quarterfinal.
Little imaging there.
Yeah, it's still basically. What do you want to call it? The kind of cylinder football with the gold on the left and right sides. Got the white laces in the middle.
laces out.
They're no longer calling it the college football playoff, just CFP.
Right.
Which I think most people still already called it in the first place. What, let me see here. CBS Sports, what they call it? Championship gold now. Golden is thy fame, is what they say, Tito. But I don't know. Anything
I don't see it. No, it doesn't look.
It's pretty much the exact same.
I can't tell a lot of difference. This is one of those things, Broad, where like if I'm looking at the things that get me popping my like, what's different? Which one's different among these four? And I usually can't tell right away. It takes a while. I got to look. Wait,
I got a nude photo hunt.
Ooh.
That shoe, the one shoe looks like it's a heel, where the other one's a flat. Like things like that. It doesn't look that different to me. Bob's look different to you?
No, it's not. They changed the color hue a little bit, but that's about it. So yeah, there's not a whole lot there that to really look at.
All right. There you go. There's your quick hitters. Coming up next, we'll get the word on the street, if you will. Albert Breer is going to join us. We'll talk NFL with the draft coming up. We'll get current talk, not past talk. We'll do that with Breer from MMQB. That's next. Morning Juice.
We ask parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be a son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver, more careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them at 6300 France Road, Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC.
Well done as always, Professor Jeff. Nice job. We'll get Albert Breer on it shortly. MMQB talking about the draft. I'm looking forward to the draft, Bob. And whiskers on this. You famously you did not go to the draft when you were the first
I don't know
round.
if that's famously, but sure.
Well,
Infamously.
It's got different levels of fame, Bob. We've talked about it in the air numerous times, and maybe it's all not organic. The fact that I
no
bring
one
it
from
up.
Ohio State of our 5 picks went that year.
Really?
Not a lot of people used to go. And here's the thing: they don't give you anything for going. That's my thing. Like, I'm not going to provide, go there and sit in a room at a card table, drinking a bottle of water, waiting for something that may or may not happen. They've expanded the amount of tickets and people that you can bring.
Right.
But it used to be they gave you 4 tickets. Like, I couldn't even bring my whole family. And by the way, where are the beers and where's the food?
Okay.
Like, I went out there. I want a carving station. This place should be like Fogo de Chao. Should be walking around with high-level meats, carving them off, letting me eat there. Servers bringing over high-level wine and some liquor so we can have a fun and enjoy the day.
Okay, Bob.
I didn't even know her.
Were you surprised where you got picked?
No.
You thought, you like going in, you thought the Cowboys will probably take me around the spot.
They were one of 4 or 5 teams that I thought could draft me. They were probably the most likely.
Okay. So you weren't at your draft?
No.
How many drafts have you been to?
I went the last one before COVID where they went to Tennessee.
Okay.
I was down there doing the coverage with ESPN. I did not even go, though, because I was doing Get Up in the next morning. And so I didn't want to go over there and deal with it and just sit there and watch things that I could see on television.
Okay.
Why am I going to sit there and see it? So I was there for Thursday, did the show with Rothman on Friday, after doing Get Up on Friday, drove back here, 6. I got back about 8 o'clock and enjoyed I listened to it on the way home. Got back about 9, hung out, and then I'll be heading over to Pittsburgh for the final day of the draft this year.
So you're doing day 3 of the draft this year for SiriusXM. Now, days 1 and 2 are easier days to do, I would think.
Oh yeah, well it depends. I mean,
I know you got long time between picks, so there's some talking you have to do about that kind of stuff. But when it gets to day 3, then, so 1 and 2, the second day is rounds 2 and 3, right? And then 4, you're doing rounds 4 through 7.
Yes.
How much? I gotta believe, Bob, you've got to do a lot of homework for that, a lot of pre-work for that, don't you?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, Thitoff.
No, Bob, okay, now see, I'm going to call you out on this one.
Go ahead.
Because I don't think that before they said to you, we want you out here doing this, before they said that to you, did you really do a lot of research on rounds 4 through 7 players?
I didn't have an interview for it. They called and said, hey, one of my friends who's doing it with me, Jacob Hester's like, hey, I think it'd be great if we could have you on. I said, that would be awesome. Let me talk and see if we can get you out here.
Right.
They said, great. That sounds good to me.
But you didn't do, like I'm saying, before they called you weren't like, hey, I've got my round 4 and 5 mock draft done as we speak.
I don't need a mock draft to be able to do it. You just have to be able to talk about the teams, what they need, and who the players are. So
if you
the fact that I watch like 16 college football games a week, that does a lot of the preparation.
Well, yeah, your knowledge, I would guess that. But I'm saying as far as
general awareness, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I talked about this with fishing. I don't know how you learn all this stuff. I'm like, well, I just kind of generally absorb everything. And by like virtue of birth, I have a fairly decent memory and I can retain things. By virtue of football, that is diminished somewhat in the capacity, but I'm still trying to maintain.
Let's now talk to Albert Breer. Albert Breer joins us, MMQB. And Albert.
Will he be at the draft?
That's a great question. I'm going to get. Okay, let's do this right now live. We'll all vote. Bo, do you think Breer will be at the draft in Pittsburgh?
I'll say no.
Bobby?
I'm going to say no as well.
Well, Bobby's cheats because he knows Albert Breer.
I don't know if he's going to be there or not.
Okay, I'll say yes. Are you going to be there at all?
I never go to the draft. I've never been.
There you go.
Albert, the guy to my left is.
Well, it's not like, I mean, I know, is it hockey where all the teams are actually there? I think
they have to be, yeah.
But I mean, the football draft, really, it's like it's 15 to 20 guys. No team people are there. All the team people are at their facilities. And like, even if you want to try to get to the prospects, which like would be I guess the point of going to the actual draft, all their time is now like bought and spoken for. You know what I mean? So like, it's just, I think for someone like me, I don't know if there's a real point in being there rather than being in a place where my phone works with a strong internet connection and all of that. You know what I mean? Like everything that I do on draft night is through this thing right here. Right. And so, I mean, it's just, it's a lot like what you watch on TV is the show, right? The draft itself is actually happening, I would say 5 at, usually it gets to the point where it's like 5 to 10 to even 15 minutes ahead of what you see on TV, which is why there's all the pick tipping on social media, because the actual draft is happening over phones and faster than what everybody's watching.
So Bobby's a professor, and because I somewhat inappropriately follow everything you do, I've heard your story about the Tressel teaching a football class that you attended and how intense that was. Do you ever have go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you ever have aspirations of teaching a class on NFL, on the way you operate, on either NFL, the way franchises operate, or the way you cover it? Do you have any aspirations of ever doing something like that?
Well, first of all, Tressel's class, I don't know if you guys heard it, but it was awesome. I could still, if you guys want, the same
show
way I
it.
did the
Yep,
podcast,
do it.
I can show. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it out here. So, Bobby, you'll probably recognize this because this is one of those old school binders. You used to get it long. Right?
I still have all of mine from playing. They're all filed away.
Yeah. So you guys see that? Like my name's on here, but it's all the pen obviously is run out. See the Ohio State football label there, old school, and then I don't know if you recognize this one, Bobby, but the difference makers.
Oh yeah.
Do you recognize?
Oh yeah.
Do you recognize that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway, so it was unbelievable, and I'll tell the story really quick again for those who didn't hear it. You can hear it on my podcast, but so like my first 3 years at Ohio State, John Cooper was the coach, and I had buddies who took that class, and you almost, if you were a normal student, if you weren't a player, you almost, Bobby, if you remember, you almost had to be a senior because like a lot of people want to take it, right? So you would, if you were going to get into it as a normal student, it was going to have to be your senior year. So I had friends that had taken it before, and the way it worked before was, Greg Belisari was the grad assistant that Steve Belisari, the old quarterback's older brother. Greg was a starting linebacker on the teams that like Vrabel and Fickle and all those guys played on. And so like Coop would like almost never be in there. Right. So like when I go to take the class in 01, I think, all right, like there's going to be some grad assistant that's going to teach us. Maybe we'll see Jim Tressel once. And that was like the exact opposite of what happened. Like Tress was in there first day, taught the class the first couple of the classes he taught. And I would have been in his first coaching football class because it was his first year there. And then after that, they would have, the coordinators. I think it was Jim Bowman and Mark D'Antonio, teach scheme. They'd have the recruiting coordinator. I think it was the tight ends coach at the time. You would know this better than me, Bobby.
Bill Conley.
Bill Conley, yeah. So he was so he'd come in and he'd do a class on recruiting. The strength coach came and talked to us. The position coaches would, Mel Tucker gave us we had a class on the secondary. And then the drawback to taking the class was on Fridays. You would it was like, when you're in college, you don't want any classes on Fridays. It was 7:30 a.m. class. So Friday at 7:30, the class was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if I remember, and no one wanted to come in on Friday, So instead of having class on Friday, Tress made that the lab day, the quote unquote lab day, where you would go out to a high school game and you would write a scouting report and on the high school game, And you'd have to have like a scouting report on scheme. You'd have to have a scouting report on, like there would be one where you would do, all right, we want you to evaluate a player, so it was a really cool experience. And Tress was sitting in the front row of every one of those classes taking notes when his coaches were teaching it. So I don't need to tell the guy sitting next to you, Tito, how detailed this guy was, but I got kind of a front row seat to just what made the guy great. I would love at some point to now I've spoken to journalism classes. I've spoken to the class there at Ohio State. Nicole Kraft is great. There she does an awesome job and has had me in to speak to students a bunch. I'm always all for. Any way I can give back. I try to do it. Especially at Ohio State. And I have thought about that. I've got some friends that teach journalism up here. Sort of on the side as adjunct professors. So I've definitely thought about the idea of doing that. And maybe, I don't know if I could teach like the type of journalism that's going on, over in Iran right now,
right.
but I could definitely teach sports journalism, and I have thought about it.
Well, I think just with how the whole sports journalism landscape has changed, Albert, like I think that would be a very class that would be useful. People always ask me, like, how do you get into this? How do you get into you got number one, like you said, you've got to be able, I think you talked to us last week, you got to be able to do basically everything now. There is no, I'm going to do print, I'm going to do radio, I'm going to do, digital, whatever it is. You got to be able to do it all, but just understanding how to integrate into the market, how to find ways to connect with people. Like, how were you able to do that and to develop all of those different connections throughout your time?
Yeah. I'd say, maybe you got a chance to see it in 2007 when I was covering you. I always tell journalism students this. I'm like, treat them like regular people. You know what I mean? Like, treat the people you're covering like you would people in your normal life. And I tell, the coaches, the general managers that I cover, the assistant coaches, the scouts, like I view all these as 30-year relationships, And, I think a big part of being good at the job that I do is having empathy and understanding other people have jobs to do too. And then, if you have an understanding of what the limitations are in someone else's job as far as helping you, then you're going to be better at working around those, and our jobs are naturally going to conflict with the jobs of the people that we cover. So, there are going to be uncomfortable times, but do you have a strong enough relationship with someone where when something tough is going on, they're going to pick up your phone, but they're going to pick up the phone when you call, And so I just think it's like normal human relationships and interactions with people. It's, the college kids I talk to, I tell them, I'm like, it's a little bit like hitting on a girl in a bar, and like, I don't know how much that goes on anymore with all the apps and everything else, but it's like, the person on the other side has a natural reason to distrust you, and the other person also knows what you want. So you got to work around. So you got to kind of work around that awkwardness, and you got to be good enough at talking to people and creating and maintaining conversation to carry yourself through. And I just think a huge part of that is just treating them as normal people. You know what I mean? Like, and finding a way to create connections and relationships with people where the foundation is trust. And, one thing that always bugs me is when someone says to me off the record, I'm like, stop saying that. You're going to know when you're on the record with me. Like if you're saying something that's going to go in a story, like I'm not going to be hiding it from you. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be a recorder on the table. Like you're going to know when you're on the record. And that to me is just kind of like, I think that's the best way I can illustrate like what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say here, which is just treat them like normal people. You know what I mean? Like treat them like you would your friends, treat them like you would the other people in your life. And if you're patient with it, you'll find a way to build the sorts of relationships you need to succeed.
Bob, that's the reason why I'm where I am and Breer's where he is, because I could not hit on girls at a bar. I had no dance moves. I had no pickup line. Yeah. I had no game. Jeff Irmisman will have
little did I know that I was I was training for my career too, back in 2001.
Jeff Rivers, middle half, a chatter, somebody's in our chat all the time, says, I think people respect Breer because he's not a clickbaiter. He's a genuine man. Do you feel sometimes, though, because of where it was at, where sports journalism was at when you first got into this? This was after you hit on the girls in 98, 99. But to where it is now, and I mean this with all respect, you're almost like a dinosaur now, aren't you?
Yeah, I would say, I just say the business is consolidating,
Okay.
And I always, I think the way you want to look at this, right, is there are a few things in America that are more popular than the thing I cover, right? Like, so I cover pro football, and there's always going to be, I think, there's always going to be like a demand for content related to pro football. I do believe that, right? Like, people are going to want content around pro football. And the information that I have about pro football, I take right now, like the stuff I do, before the draft, like, I view this as one of the most important weeks of the year work-wise for me. Like, this week leading up to the draft, I'm building up information. I'm sort of a professional gossip, I guess, but I'm trading information, and I have something to give back to the people that I cover. I have, I'll give them something. They'll give me something. I'll build up a mosaic of, what I think the draft is going to look like in the first round, and try to be as accurate as I can. And, hopefully for every 5 things that I give a general manager when I'm on a phone call with them, going through what I've heard, he gives me one thing back. Right. And so, here's the thing, right? So, like, I have that information, right? All right, now how am I going to deliver it? And so I don't think the information gathering process has changed all that much since, like, Will McDonough was doing it back in the 80s. You know what I mean? I just think the delivery of it has changed. And so I think, what I tell people, the kids in journalism classes is, the principles of what we do, the foundation of what we do, and gathering information, just knowing what's going on and whatever your beat is, right? That hasn't changed. Where you have to be more flexible, where you have to be more malleable is how you deliver that content and finding different ways to do that content, And so, I mean, for example, like, I'm not a scout, but I have access to all those guys. And so my bosses wanted scouting reports, quote unquote, on the top 20 picks. And so, but they didn't want that written. They wanted that on video so they could, slap ads on the front of it. Right. So, I called 7 or 8 general managers and went through the top 50 prospects, which took time. And I wrote scripts, and, those scripts will never see the light of day. I spoke it into a camera, and they're going to be able to sell advertising off of that. My podcast is another place where I can put the information. It's just, you have to be flexible in the way that you deliver the information, because how people consume information is going to continue to change. And, I can see it. I be honest with you guys. I observe the way my kids consume content. Yeah. Because, in 10 or 15 years, that's going to be the people that are going to be the target demo, So I think it's just, again, like, sticking to the principles of your job and the way that you do your job, and the foundation of what makes somebody good at my job is still largely the same. But how we get, that information, that content to the people has changed, is going to continue to change. And I think will always change.
And so with that, you talk to all these GMs, scouts, mm-hmm. And you said you're trading information, talking back and forth. Do you get a sense? I mean, I know it's probably going to be a 1 quarterback, first round, or 1 quarterback top 10 for sure. You think there'll be a trade if you had to lean in on this? You think there'll be a trade in the top 10 picks?
So I think, like, Bobby, I would tell you, like, I can just tell you flat out that there are 5 teams, I would say, right in the heart of the top 10 that are relatively aggressively looking to move. And so that's the Cardinals at 3, the Titans at 4, the Giants at 5, the Browns at 6, and the Commanders at 7. Why are they trying to move? It's just because of what we've talked about over the last few weeks, which is that you don't have prototype prospects at premium positions. So you're compromising something. It's either we're going to take a top end prospect at a non-premium position. That's Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles. Or we're going to take a guy where maybe he doesn't have quite the measurables, or he's a little bit of a project at a premium position. So in other words, are you willing to take what might be a little bit of a project in Arvell Reese, or take a guy in David Bailey who might not be as good against the run or doesn't have the measurables, or take Francis Maui-Noa, who's a right tackle, not a left tackle, or Mansour Delane, who only had really 1 year of demonstrated high-end play at corner. Or do you go in on the non-premium position, kind of like the Lions did in 23? We've talked about that with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell. Just take the best player and go in on a Downs or a Styles or a Love. And so because of that dynamic, you have teams, I think, at the top that are looking to drop down a little bit and position themselves where they might feel a little bit more comfortable taking the non-premium position or taking the guy where you have to compromise a little bit. The problem is like, who is going to come up and get someone now? And the only team that I've heard that's like at least explored a big swing is Dallas. And they have 2 first-round picks at 12 and 20. Those, I think the assumption is if they go up, that it's going to be potentially for Arvell Reese, and that Reese could play a role in Dallas like Micah Parsons played. But I don't think there's great demand for those picks. So, again, like you might, if you're a team looking to go up, get a little bit of a discount going up within the top 10. Now, when we get past the top 10, I think there's going to be a little bit more movement because the draft is relatively flat. I think you're going to see runs on positions where teams might get antsy and move up to go get a tackle or a corner or whatever.
Get you out on this one, Albert. I always like to ask you questions nobody else will ask you in the other various shows you are on. You and Bob in 2001 both approached the same young lady at Papa Joe's on campus. Who has a better chance of succeeding with their game, you or Bobby?
Well, I didn't have a varsity letter on my chest, so I think Bobby probably got me on that one.
Bobby, you agree with that?
Although
Or
I
not?
was crafty back. I was crafty back in the day. My buddies will tell you.
So I would have still.
I was resourceful. I was good. My setting was either 1:30 a.m. at Twos or like 5 in the afternoon at Ziggs. Somebody pulled me in there at 1 p.m. and I'm coming in for one drink and leaving in pretty rough shape 6 hours later.
Yeah, the early evening Ziggs situation was never good. And
no, it was bad. Bobby, the bad thing was when you come home from class and there'd be like 3 of your buddies sitting on that porch and it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. It's like, just come up for one drink. You knew your day was over.
Well, I talked to my students the other day about value buying. And I go, is it really necessary for you to start drinking at 1 o'clock? But no, that's when Beat the Clock starts. So it's cheaper at that point. So you try to invest into the future version of yourself because you're getting things at a discount.
I think the
Lots of
biggest
time travel.
The biggest detriment probably to Albert was the fact he walked around with that micro cassette recorder. Every time he approached a woman, he had that going, and that's the part that probably worked against him. Albert, have a great weekend. I promise you, next week when we talk on Thursday, it will be more about draft and less about your career and your success on the campus bar scene.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That was Albert Breer, MQB. I don't know, Bob. I think Albert had game. I gotta believe
for sure he did. Albert's a good-looking dude. Listen, like you said, talking to a GM and getting them to trust you is no different than finding someone like that at a campus establishment.
I will tell you, at Mean Mr. Mustard's, I have a better chance of taking an NFL GM home than I did a woman of the female persuasion. Coming, wow, I can't believe I just said those words on the air. Coming up next, though, Brady calls games as a part owner.
Well.
Is there another Hall of Fame quarterback that may be calling some shots on draft day? We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. You think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Hey folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham Berm here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. After hitting maintenance with Awaken 180, I kind of thought that was the whole deal. All right, cool. Don't be an idiot now. Don't gain it back. Stay under 200 pounds. That was the win. But then maintenance did something I really didn't expect. I lost another 5 pounds for free. I'm now down 40 pounds, further under 200, and that's the part about Awaken 180 that still cracks me up a little bit. Because people hear maintenance and think it means barely hanging on, eating celery in the dark and trying not to blow it. That's not this. I'm eating pizza. I can have ice cream. I'm living like a normal person. The difference is I'm not fighting myself all day, or if I'm wondering what one weekend away from the plan could ruin the whole thing. Awaken 180 just didn't help me lose the weight. It taught me how to live in a way where I'm not headed right back to where I started. The last 5 pounds in free maintenance, that tells you everything. Awaken180weightloss.com. Go there now and give it a chance and see how it can help you take control of your life and your health the way it did for me. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
God, if only we had a fan poll we had control over, Bob. Because someone in the chat here.
Always put one of our own out there.
You're right, we can do that. Someone in the chat said that they are they think, I should put it this way. Phil,
curious?
Hall of Fame chatter, yes.
Phil's curious.
He thinks that Breer went by Al or Bert back then.
I call him Bert.
You do call him Bert?
His friends call him Bert.
Okay, so
like college buddies.
Do you think when he was at Mean Mr. Mustard's, he was like, "Hey, I'm Bert. Hey, I'm Al," or "Hey, I'm Albert"?
Well, to steal a line from a man, I can't think of the character's name, but in The Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel L. Jackson, he said, "I'm both frank and earnest with women. In Chicago, I'm frank. In New York, I'm earnest."
That's fantastic.
It's one of the great lines ever.
Troy Aikman might be in the Dolphins draft room. Now, we know Brady calls games for Fox, famously, paid very well. That's what I heard. And then also is a part owner of your Las Vegas Raiders. So he has a say, he has an opinion, he has a voice in what the direction the Raiders franchise is going. Miami Dolphins general manager John Eric Sullivan, which I don't know why you've got to be John Eric. Just be John, just be Eric. John - Eric is kind of a weird way to name yours, to go by.
John - Eric?
John - Eric.
Okay.
It's not trustworthy, Bob. I think it hurts in trades. Anyway, he said that he's the GM for the Dolphins. He said that Troy will not be consulted for picks. He may be in the draft room. Aikman and Dan Marino. Marino has been a special advisor there since 2014. That's different, though, because Marino is no longer involved in the media, at least nationally. I don't know if anything local or not, but I know he was famously on the CBS pregame stuff, right? That's where Boomer called him out for not winning a Super Bowl, and Marino looked flabbergasted by that.
Sure, Dan was happy.
Dan looked at him like, "Are you serious?" That's a great clip, by the way. If you want to go back and watch that. Do you believe that do you think it's okay that Aikman, and I'm not saying he does here because Eric Sullivan said he's not going to have a say in the picks, but you've got Brady who does announcing for Fox and is also a part owner of the Raiders. Aikman, who does stuff for ESPN, being possibly in the draft room for the Dolphins. Are you okay with that? Do you think there's a conflict of interest there?
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't care?
That doesn't bother me. Like, what are people worried about? Like the integrity of the game when they're calling it, that they were involved in picking a guy that maybe they might be biased? I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
People inherently have biases anyway on guys.
Sure.
Maybe where they went to school, whatever. I've always found Aikman to be incredibly fair and call as he sees it. So I don't have a problem with that.
I think that part of the apprehension is just with when you've got people that, if they have influence in insider information. I know the thing with Brady, like there's certain rules Brady has to adhere to where he can't be in certain meetings. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the access that necessarily everybody else gets if they announce games, right? I mean, like there are meetings that go on, and you know this from doing games before. You have meetings with coaches, because you get ready for your broadcast with that knowledge. And I think that the questions are, does that give the Raiders, and in this case the Dolphins, an unfair advantage on insider info regarding other teams and players?
Well, who are they going to give that to, you think?
Well, I'm saying, like, if Brady can't do certain meetings, right? Brady can't throughout the week.
Sure.
Okay.
I guarantee you, when Tom Brady calls a coach, they call him back. So he might not be able to, quote, sit in on the production meeting.
Right.
But if he wants to talk to another coach, they're taking his call.
But there's reason he can't sit on the production meetings.
Because the NFL said they don't like the way it looks.
Right. They don't like the way it looks. That's why I'm asking you, is it
that's all it is.
And so it's the fact they've got that Aikman has this presence, if you will, with the Dolphins. Brady obviously has a financial investment with the Raiders, though. So the fact you said that Brady, yes, if he calls a coach calling him back. If he calls a coordinator, if he calls whatever, he's getting the call back because he's Tom F. Brady. So the NFL, though, you think overreacts just because of the image of the perception of what it could be.
People in the media are upset about it.
Okay.
That's what I think. I don't think fans really care. Maybe some of them do. I think most of it's an outrage on the media side. And maybe there are some people in the NFL that individual teams that aren't necessarily like their ownership doesn't like it, but they approved it.
Right.
There's nothing he's going to glean from there that he's like running over. Now, maybe I don't know if he's ever done a Raiders game.
I don't think he has done a Raiders game.
And so he's not doing anything that, like, anything you're getting in the production meeting that you're going to see like in the future you could find on film. And so after you watch the game, it's all there anyway.
I thought he might have done a Bears-Raiders game last year.
Maybe he did do one.
Yeah.
And I could see that if you're like literally playing the team that week. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. But like Tom played, I think respects the integrity of the game and how hard it was to play. So Albert, any information Tom gets, Albert can get. Guys trade information all the time.
We're going to trade information now with our good buddy, our friend, Ya Highness, joining us here from Arizona. Chad, good morning, my friend. The NFL draft is a week away. I know we're going to talk one more time before the draft, but how much betting do you do on the draft?
Well, first off, we got to start this up right. You guys are lagging a little bit this morning. We got to hit Columbus with a little good morning to the 614, baby. Let's turn the volume up to 11. Anyways, it stinks coming on after Albert. I love him. And by the way, I think it's Big Bert is what he rolled downtown Columbus there on campus back in the day. It was Big Bert, I think, is how he told all the ladies down there, hey, it's Big Bert, baby. I'm going to be a big-time reporter in the NFL. Come holler at your boy. I think that was his line. Anyway, now that we're on 11, let's get it cranked up. I got a little bit of draft insight, but I'm no Albert Breer, so stick with me. Number one, Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, I think we all know he's going to the Raiders. Rumors that people are going to reach for the Ty Simpson kid coming out of Alabama. I think that's a big mistake. I think we have a really weak draft class. I do love that Kirk Cousins is going to go play the backup role there for Mendoza there. Here's my big, bold prediction. Sonny Styles, he's my new favorite Ohio State player there. I think the Dallas Cowboys trade up until the top, I was going to say 5, but let's say 6. The Dallas Cowboys trade up into the top 6 to pick Sonny Styles. That's my big, bold prediction. But I think Sonny Styles is a top 6 pick. I think with the teams that Albert mentioned there at the 3, 4, 5, and 6 spot have value or interest in trading out or trading back. And we know that Dallas likes to make big, splashy moves on draft day, and they love to get those linebackers. Especially, they like to get those linebackers from Ohio State. They got a reputation. So that's my big, bold thing. And then all these mock drafts you see out there, the Mel Kiper Jr.'s, the Todd McShays of the world. By the way, Frank Caliendo's Todd McShay thing is hilarious. If you haven't go see it, check it out. But yearly, or most years, about 50 to 60% of those are complete hogwash. As soon as one trade happens, the whole draft changes. So if you're watching ESPN or one of these other programs and you see these mock drafts, ask your 12-year-old to do it. They could probably give you about the same amount of accuracy. So we're throwing darts against the board here a little bit, and a little bit it's just the unknown. Again, trades and things like that happen. The whole draft changes. So, but I'm super excited. Go watch Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Get yourself ready. So let's go.
Watch draft. I don't know if that's.
I do. It's a ritual every year. Every year it gets me ready for the draft. I'm not even a Browns fan, but let's go Kevin Costner. Bo or whatever that guy's name out of Wisconsin.
Bo Callahan.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet this year. Yeah, Bo Callahan. Yes, I haven't watched it yet this year, but I'll watch it. Here we go.
So you said mock drafts are wrong. Like top 10 misses a certain percentage. What are your thoughts on some of the mock drafts? Do you know anybody that has good ones that you do like?
I've only seen a couple of the big major guys that have put them out. Like I said, the Mel Kipers, the Todd McShays, a couple of the other guys on the NFL Network. But I think everyone I've seen, right, has Fernando's number 1. I don't think I've seen a mock draft that doesn't, so that's pretty much the consensus. But I think where you see a lot of differing of opinions would be between about the 3 and the 6 pick. And I think that comes down to where people are projecting trades to happen. But I think the consensus on the board there, and I think Albert even touched on it, is there's going to be some trades in that top 5-ish, top 10 for sure range. And I think there are teams that are stacked with a lot of picks. Like, for instance, the Cowboys, I think they have 2 picks, if I'm correct, in the first round. So they have a lot of room. Yeah, so they have room to work with there. And again, and Bobby probably can speak to this better than I can. There's something about down there in Dallas. They like to make a big splash in the first round, which is the opposite of, let's say, New England, who likes to just get completely out of the first round and stockpile draft picks. So, yeah, I'm looking for the Cowboys to make a big move on defense. Again, it's a bold prediction, but I think Sonny Styles ends up in the Lone Star State.
He is Chad at WeWinYouWin.com. Also follow him on social media on YouTube at Shut Up and Bets, where you can find his takes he has, all the stuff he has every day. I will tell you, don't have the kids around when you watch it, but it is hysterical. We love it. We watch it here all the time. Ya Highness, any kind of specials going on right now? And how does baseball do for you?
Yeah, obviously baseball is just getting going, but we're off to a killer start in baseball. Last 10 days, win rate of a little over 68%, and that's a ROI, so return on investment of 36%, which is ungodly numbers. Friday, if you go follow the YouTube channel, we'll be putting out our NHL preview for all the first round series. Hockey is my best sport by far. We're over a 12% ROI just on hockey alone this calendar year. The special I have, because 4/20, which is about a week or so away, marks the completion of our 3rd year. So we're running a special for only $420. That works out to $35 a month. If you can't do the math at home, head over to the website, use code WW. That's like the Bush, right? WW. 420. That gets you locked in for the whole year for $420. But I'm going to run, I think next week we're going to run a big customer appreciation, a big shout out to Columbus. Maybe guys get you ramped up for the baseball season. But I think the Guard Indians, by the way, if you haven't heard me say it, that's how we refer to them in Cleveland. The Guard Indians, that's right. We still got to pay homage. And by the way, shout out to Mark the Shark. I know he's long since retired, but he allowed me to still call him the Indians. So the Cleveland Indians and the Cincinnati Reds, I think, are both shaping up to have pretty good years this year. So it should be an exciting time for Ohio baseball.
Just to clarify, because I know the first thing I thought of when you said that phrase, when he was talking about when he meant George Bush, the former president, that's what he was referring to. That was the Bush in question there. Ya Highness.
Yeah. Now, if we're going to talk about President Bush and when we were in college, and you know what I'm saying, so I was a big supporter of President Bush when I was in college, if you know what I'm saying. All right. Anyways, continue.
Where are you at on your $100 to $1 million now? Where are we at on the chain?
I travel too much. Anyways, I got to get back on the right foot and do the wrong thing with that. But now that hockey playoffs are getting ready to start, look for something this weekend. Again, Shut Up and Bet on the YouTube channel. We'll be posting that. But my birthday is the end of May, and I'm determined to be a millionaire, Regis Philbin style, by then. So get in where you fit in. I can't say the rest.
I know.
But anyways,
look, April 20th, by the way, my sister's birthday, Rob Carpenter's birthday also. So Bobby's dad's birthday. It's a great day to celebrate.
Yeah, Big Daddy Carp.
Yes.
Daddy Carp. Tell him I said hello there, Bobby. By the way, your sister, a little disappointed. She didn't show up for the meetup event. I was really looking forward to meeting her.
I didn't invite
tell
her.
Yeah, that was probably smart.
I know.
Tell her I'm going to smoke for her in celebration on 420 for you, your sister.
I will do that. Thanks, Ya Highness. We'll talk again next week, brother.
All right, Bobby. Jump on the right foot, do the next thing. We'll see you back in better than ever next week.
There we go. Ya Highness. WeWinYouWin.com. He's got that special going on. Go check that out. $420 for the entire year. As he said, that works out to $35 a month. Coming up next, we will wrap things up. Tell you who's got his juice. Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
There is nothing more meaningful you can do for yourself, your family, and friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy that time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. Here, let me help you. It's Bobby Carpenter, and Dr. Tesler and his team at QC Kinetics take care of your pain in the office so you can go right along with your day. It's that easy. So if you say yes to any of these questions, you're the kind of patient QC Kinetics regenerative treatments can help every day. I have consistent pain in my joint, knees, hips, shoulder, back. Pain keeps me from getting a good night's sleep. I'm missing work or saying no to things that I love. I don't want surgery or a long-term recovery. I am at the end of my rope, and taking medications every day is just going to get me through the day. I don't want to do it anymore. So if you want to do that, go check out your free consultation over with my friends at QC Kinetics in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and in Gahanna. Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Baseball is a business built on patience. From long seasons to long-term contracts, the smartest organizations know success isn't just about one big swing. It's about consistency, development, and managing resources over time. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help clients sustain success over time.
Winning teams invest in their farm systems, manage payroll wisely, and play the percentages. That same approach applies to your finances. At Riverside Bank of Dublin, we focus on steady growth and smart decision-making, and we invest in our people.
That's right, Travis. Riverside Bank helps create financial plans designed to last, not just for this season, but for years to come. Because whether it's building a championship roster or building financial security, fundamentals always win. Riverside Bank of Dublin, trusted, local, and committed to helping you succeed. Look for our new branch location in Bridge Park in Dublin.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. I don't know if you saw it during the break or not. Bobby slapped a little rouge on there. Thank you to Albert Breer for joining us. Thank you to Ya Highness for his weekly segment as well. Appreciate that. All the juicers in the chat, always lively, always contributing. And we steal some of your questions. And I've been told now I need to probably check before asking the questions because they might be copyrighted. So we'll work on that. Just kidding, we won't. Bob, let's tell people what's got us all kind of excited today.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
It is a Thursday, which means we will hear from Ohio State's what's his official title? He's strength and conditioning assistant coach?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Strong guy, Anthony Schlegel.
I go to bed early, I wake up, I make my bed first thing. Like I started off the day by accomplishing a mission. Then I go through, I drink my coffee, drink some pre-workout, get bumpy to start my day. Then I attack work and just being a dude. And then guess what? When it's over, I go love with my wife, I love with my kids, I love with other people, and then I go to bed. And I just push repeat.
Just push repeat. People who don't make their beds are psychopaths, with all due respect.
Wait, no, first of all, Bob and I can't make our beds in the morning.
My wife's still sleeping in the bed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Like, you think if I get up there and, like, I wake up at 5 in the morning, just like shaking the comforter up in the air like this, it's going to go over well? No.
Tell her. There's the bench at the end of the bed.
There you go. You're right. Yes.
Can you fit on that thing? Oh, yeah. Second best day of the work week, guys. Thursday. Well, has me juice. Got a couple things for you here.
Second to Monday?
Well, maybe Friday.
There we go.
First off, the last time the 76ers played a playoff game in Boston, Jason Tatum had 51 points. That's the most ever in a Game 7 by any player in NBA history. So excited for Game 1 on Sunday afternoon between the Celtics and 76ers. Speaking of, Bob, I saw our boy had another little bit of a banger yesterday. Our Mr. Go-to-Bed Questionable, Wake-Up Probable, Joe Mazzulla, on the Part of My Take podcast talked about what his love language is.
I mean, to me, you know, everyone has a different love language. My love language is like violence.
Violence. That's his love language.
Is he married to Cersei?
Yeah, that guy is crazy, but he knows a lot about basketball. He's a good coach, and I love him very much. Also, Bob, speaking of, knocked out another episode last night.
Oh.
The Oath Keeper. Nothing too crazy happening. You said it's episode 5 of that season.
There's a handful. There's little nuggets. Usually it was always 4 and 9.
Yeah, but I thought you said this season was maybe episode 5 or
episode 7, 8,
7.
And the season ends with a banger.
Okay, just the whole
the
back
season
half
ends. The back half picks up a lot of speed, but Oathkeeper, like, you get to see a little redemption out of Jamie there. I mean,
yeah,
the highs and lows of him being good.
Circled back around on him quite a bit.
Maybe leaning into his sister a little too much in the last episode, but then comes back
Fair
and
call.
You know, he's given up his Valyrian steel sword to Brienne. Like, that's a pretty nice little deal.
Yeah, we got a couple different people trying to take what's the word I'm looking for? Ownership, I guess, of Joffrey's death.
Yeah.
Littlefinger tells Sansa he did it. Marjorie's grandma tells
There's a guy
her
called
she
Littlefinger.
did it.
Lady
There's a guy called
Olenna.
Littlefinger.
That's his nickname, yeah. And then, speaking of, this was driving me crazy when he was in some earlier seasons, Bob, and then it finally clicked last
Couldn't figure out
night.
who he was.
I could not remember what this guy was from, and as soon as I saw him last night, I was like, you know what? I know exactly what it was. Let me get it pulled up on my little PC.
Oh, we're
here.
going to show it.
Oh, yeah. So this guy right here, I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. And this young fella who's north of the wall at, let me get the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Here. What's this guy's name? Burn Gorman. Doing this on the fly here a little bit. This fella right here. I was like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
He was kind of.
He was the one. Do you feel like you're in control?
He was his right-hand man.
Yes, a walkout, yes.
So Bane and the other dude, who I can't remember any of their names.
I just mean, that's the guy who walked out of the room then is when he said that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bane's basically like,
Yes.
Do you feel in charge?
Right, and then that guy walks out, yes.
Yeah, so that finally clicked last night. So we have not one, but 2 different characters from the Dark Knight trilogy making their way into Game of Thrones. But always a good feeling when I can make it click, because I remember seeing him, because last night was the first we've seen him in a little while there. But and he doesn't seem like a really great dude, if I'm just being
there's
honest
some
with you.
bad guys in there.
Some of the stuff going on north of the wall, just a lot of
Well, you got to see a little White Walker.
Oh, yeah. Turn that baby.
That was scary.
From human to, I don't know, not human, I guess we'll say. But, yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. That's what's got me juiced on this Thursday.
Oh, gosh.
Bobby, what has you juiced?
I'm super juiced. I'm going to go watch a lot of this season 4 this weekend.
Let me guess. Incest and blood.
They start
and dragons.
The dragons are small. The incest is diminishing, and the blood is real. So that's going to be good. This is really the blood that I'm talking about. Did you get the deal?
I got you.
Yeah, this is
no
the
audio. Just going to play the video. The audio is just cheering.
This is the video, and Danny Cannell mentioned this, and then Herb Street commented on it too. And this is the issue. I have youth sports, man. I don't know how old these guys are. Let's say, I'm guessing probably middle school-ish.
12, 13 was
Yeah,
mine.
maybe 14 on the old end. We hit a home run, and then we spiked the bat into the ground, dude.
Like Gronk spike.
Yes.
We're trying to.
I don't mind the rest of this coming through. You want to beat your chest, celebrate with your teammates at the end. That's awesome. But hitting a home run and then spiking the bat on the way to first base, dude, toss the bat to somebody in the dugout, go take a lap, and you're good. But the overhead Gronk spike, first of all, that bat's probably $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's just ridiculous. Act like you've been there before and then go celebrate with your teammates. This is the problem that we have in youth sports right now, and just the nonsense. His parents should have whooped his ass is what should have happened. If that was my kid, I'd say, go back there, pick that bat up, and act like you've been there before. Have some respect for the game. I mean, you didn't just hit a walk-off in Game 7 of the World Series, for heaven's sake, and I'd pray that you wouldn't do it then.
How about the fact that we appear to, and I'll pause it right here. We have what appears to be a GoPro camera on his helmet, I think, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then let me fast forward a little bit. We got one more camera following the home run celebration. How about a second camera following the home run celebration? This is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, these are kids that are playing. I don't care. It's not like they're in a major league park. Whatever. And then we throw up for the dunk at the end.
We got to get the alley-oop dunk because the turnover chain, as if Miami hasn't done enough horrible things in life.
Do we need more props at games?
Yes.
Come on, man.
And it just is I don't think it's that hard to celebrate and have fun without clearly crossing the line. This is so far beyond the line of just stupidity, and how there isn't one parent, just one. All it takes is one. I think
get that ball off, get the backboard off the field.
To step into this and be like, this. I mean, look at that. Hold on, let me remember. Every time you watch it, you see something new. Watch the third base coach when the ball is hit. I mean, what are we doing here, man? It just. I think it's embarrassing.
I wish the bat would have hit him in the face when he came back up.
Came back and broken nose. It just is
how'd you break your nose? Got hit with a bat? Someone hit you?
No.
Kind of.
All right, listen, guys. You're the first base coach. You're a third base coach. How about me? You're going to hold the backboard after the home run. You're the backboard holder. You can't be the first or third base coach, but you've got to be the one who comes out after a big home run holding the backboard. That's your job. It's an important job. Don't screw it up.
I don't mind organic celebrations, but the choreographed nonsense and props coming in now, a little bit of choreographed stuff would be fun. They want to do a little handshake or.
You want to copy what Major League Baseball players do? That seems reasonable.
But the throwing of the oop and the bat slam and just the 18 videographers that are there.
Which is just are those people getting paid? What's the situation?
Call those guys from YouTube, have them come down here and film this for me. That's got me
what
juiced.
If you struck out?
Yeah, exactly. Got you juiced in a negative way. Be better, society. Parents, be better. Hold your kids accountable. Please don't let them do that.
It all goes back, Bob, to Joe Horn and the cell phone, Terrell and the Sharpie.
That's fine. Those guys can do that. As a parent, you should tell your kids what is and isn't appropriate moving forward.
Here's my thought.
When you're an adult, you're on your own at that point.
I have an idea.
I guarantee you those guys didn't have parents that probably disciplined them enough as children.
If you strike out in a game like that, you have to give your bat to the pitcher. The team gets to keep your bat.
Just collects bats?
Yes. You just
scalps.
If you strike out swinging, if you strike out looking, that's different. Strike out swinging, though.
You'd rather look than swing?
No, but I'm saying if you swing, though, you're attempting to use the bat and you failed. If you're looking, you just suck at looking at balls and strikes.
It'd be bad at school and sports.
Right. And so my thought is, Bob, this is what they should do. And I would go all the way down to like U9 travel baseball. And that would make the parents, by the way, that would put more pressure on the parents, too, to tell the kids, like, hey, hit the damn ball, see ball, hit ball, because I just paid $300 for this illegal bat that I put cork in.
Speaking of paying,
Yes.
I mean, that kid must have had enough gear on
Oh, yeah.
to go to war.
High swag level.
Brother, if you take a fastball to the elbow at 12, you're probably going to be fine. They're not putting 98 on the corner.
Oh, they
They're on
were the
inside.
slide. They have the oven mitts now for the sliding.
And you're just like, and once again, Major League Baseball players, makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
You know, Aaron Judge misses a month. That's a tough break for the Yankees. He makes a lot of money. But, I don't, it just is
Used
like.
to be your fingers would hurt. You got stepped on. Big deal.
Have one of your kids ever celebrated like that in any?
Oh, my dad would have whipped my ass.
But
I
how about your
spiked. I
kids, though?
spiked a ball one time in 8th grade. It was not a good thing.
Yeah,
it was a game-winning touchdown.
You or
ripped
the
it
ball?
off. Well,
both.
And He was not happy about that.
I remember we were coaching at Carriage Place. One of the kids made a basket in a basketball game, and did
Sam
like
Cassell.
the sleepy thing. Like
Get out of here.
the court.
Oh, yeah. Get out of here.
And I yelled at the kid. He wasn't my kid, but I yelled at him. I was like, "Don't ever do that again."
Of course, it's ridiculous.
But all the other kids thought it was great, but I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
of
listen,
course, because they all live the
7.
fantasy life, fantasy style. Like, it's ridiculous. It's up to the coach. We don't do that. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Celebrate with your teammates.
That's the thing. You could pretty much, in my book at least, do just about anything with your teammates, and that's going to be cool with me.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I think the NFL, like getting an interception at the 45 and run 50 yards to the end zone, all pose. I think it's kind of stupid, but not the end of the world.
Right.
And all the high fives, choreographed handshakes, all that stuff is totally fine with me. But the props is probably where it needs to stop, especially for 12-year-olds. And then 3 different cameras. I've never seen anybody have a camera on the front of their house. I'm guessing that's not to like rewatch the at bat either, to like try to get better.
It's to go viral.
Pure celebration. Come on, man.
My problem would be is if when I was younger, if I did the Sharpie and the sock thing, I'd probably find it like 3 years later. Oh, I forgot. I never scored a touchdown. Hey, I never did anything great athletically. I never had a reason for the Sharpie. I could have all the celebrations of the world, would never get a chance to show one the light of day. I think my biggest accomplishment was probably the wiffle ball home run I hit with the big red bat, the thicker one. That's really illegal for wiffle ball because that's cheating. But, not the thin yellow one. But anyway, thank you to all the juicers, the chatters in here today. We appreciate that. Thank you to Albert Breer, Ya Highness.
Poor Phil in the chat. You guys sound like a bunch of boomers crapping on the kids' celebration. Dude, it's ridiculous. I've seen enough of this to know that that's the problem with sports. So
I saw it said boomers. I thought it was boomer. I was thinking, was there a Boomer Esiason reference in there? Did he do something?
No, but
boomers.
it's his birthday tomorrow, so we'll dress him then.
Oh, we can undress Boomer Esiason tomorrow.
We can leave him clothed.
Either way, we'll see if we can find video on that. Thank